Okay. No, the credit card machine was just on. It's
Yeah,
gonna,
I turned it off.
oh, you turned it on just now?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why we didn't know.
Yeah, get away from it. Don't let it, don't touch it.
Corona on the spot. Can you get one of those? Bumps in the road?
Almost on the road.
Oh, bumps in the road. Got a roll. This is Rajneesh's good chance to 150 views between last night and tonight.
At night?
Yeah, during the day between last night.
I watched it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The morning satsang.
The morning, how did you have it? Would you watch it?
Live? No,
Live?
after.
After, I think it's probably better for now.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
So I have this still good.
What can I clean as well? It's so good. You have to more now? So like that?
It hasn't been determined yet. They put feelers out what I'd be willing to, but I said part-time for maybe a month, but I haven't heard back.
And still, give me that folder back so when I have a chance I can go to it. It's particularly hectic.
Well, we got till, July 15th.
I know, but it, you know,
Yeah, I'll give it back to you.
that way I can look at it.
Yeah, yeah. It's a crow.
I sat over here so I wasn't directly underneath there, and this one blows straight on you when you sit here.
Yeah, I like it here because you don't get blown on. It's anything that's going on.
Hey, look. Where's the halfling?
She's at home today.
Yeah.
We need a break from her.
She's big enough to stay by herself?
No. She's not her.
So it's probably cut by
Probably reorganize the house.
definitely.
She's definitely babysitting him.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
I think you're okay.
That's right, he's too close.
Yes.
I don't know if it's
And
cool.
people who live together can sit closer to each other, if they want to.
Yeah. I told him that. Early. You didn't hear what just happened?
Maybe
See,
you want.
it's better he sits.
Everybody, keep your distance.
We're strictly observing our 6-foot rule.
Well, yeah, we are. You were trying to put a footnote in,
Which is,
that if they're related, they can be.
yeah, if they live in the same house.
They're next to each other all day long, but they come here and they have to separate.
Oh, this is YouTube, yeah.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah, they hear us.
I didn't say anything bad about anybody.
Watch your speech.
Too late now.
If you jump them all, they'll get tangled.
Hmm?
Yeah, it looks like if you jump them all, they'll get tangled.
Maybe.
Now, Atman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda ji commences tonight's satsang with the Sanskrit peace chant.
Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We begin with Shiv Panchakshari Stotra by Rajneesh, Sri Rajneesh.
Nagendra Haraya Trilochanaya Bhasmangaragaya Maheshwaraya Nityaya Shuddhaya Digambaraya Tasmai Nakaraya Namah Shivaya Tasmai Nakaraya Namah Shivaya. Mandakini Salil Chandan Charchitaya Nandeshwar Pramatanath Maheshwaraya Mandar Pushpa Bahu Pushpa Supuchitaya Tasmai Makaraya Namah Shivaya Tasmai Makaraya Namah Shivaya. Shaivaya Gauri Vadnavja Vrinda Suryaya Dakshaya Dvarnashikaya Srinilkantaya Vrushubhadvajaya Tasmai Shikaraya Namah Shivaya Tasmai Shikaraya Namah Shivaya. Vasishtha Kumbhodbhava Kautamaya Munindra Devar Chitshekharaya Chandrarka Vaishwanar Lochanaya Tasmai Vakaraya Namah Shivaya Tasmai Vakaraya Namah Shivaya. Yaksha Swarupaya Jatadharaya Pinakahastaya Sanatanaya Divyaya Devaya Digambaraya Tasmai Yakaraya Namah Shivaya Tasmai Yakaraya Namah Shivaya. Panchaksharamidam punyam yah pathet shiva sannidho shivalokam avapnoti shivena saha mudate. We are recording from the ashram of our revered Guru, Atman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda ji in Miami, Florida. Today is April the 1st, 2020, Wednesday evening, and tonight Swamiji will be lecturing on the Yoga Vasistha. This is series 2018, class number 228. And now, Atman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda ji.
Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnana Murtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tatmamasyadi Lakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Triguna-rahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Om. Adorations to Sadguru, who is Brahman, the giver of supreme bliss, embodiment of pure consciousness, one without a second, vast as the ether, infinite, eternal, beyond the three gunas and their modifications, the supreme preceptor. Yoga Vasistha Upasham Prakarana, section 71 continues. is giving insight into the highest goal, the soul that has attained enlightenment and has ascended the 7 steps of Jnana Bhumikas. And that concluding steps of Jnana Bhumikas, known as Turiya, 4th, or better still, Turiya Tita. We count 4 from the point of view of 3 states of consciousness: waking, dream, deep sleep. The early state of your awakening is like waking state. When you go into Tanumanasa, Shubhecha Vicharana Tanumanasa, first you wake up waking, then you get into state which is matches up with dream, but the dream is -2 and what is matching up is +2. You have to understand, just like you are standing by a lake, your head goes down completely into this reflection. So if your head is +4, your reflection is -4, your head is +4. The numbers seem the same, waking, dream, deep sleep. But the meaning is totally different. To be really awake, you are awake, that waking of yours is minus, whatever minus called, -1. You come to spiritual awakening, now you have come to +1. Next stage, -2. In your dream you go even lower than your waking state. But the positive counterpart is subtle transformation occurring in your subconscious, described as Vicharana and Tanumanasa. And the final state, I will not match up now with all those, this is all allegorical, not like mathematics. Final state, as you go after Sattvapatti, Asamsakti, Padartha Bhavana, they match up with your deep dream and ultimately deep sleep. Enlightenment is perfect understanding of enlightenment is beyond all these descriptions. Keeping that in view, and basic point to remember that it is Chitta that brings out all these details from bondage state to release state. Anything that you are studying, anything that you are grasping is in and through your Chitta. Being the cause of projected jivahood, Chitta is called Prakriti or nature. So when you study philosophy or practicing, thinking about the difference between Purusha and Prakriti, what is making you go through all this Chitta? See, in fact, your chitta is as if, assuming all those names, with that in view, you listen more. When manifested, it is called body. The idea, I am the body. How does it come from? Your chitta. Always understand your chitta is same as chit. Chit is pure awareness. Chit is Brahman, the absolute. So absolute with his magical power, and magical power being highlighted, now plays the role of chitta. If you allow the chitta to be enlightened, chitta will fall back. I'm joking. Chitta term also means we are falling back, falling on your back. With the predominance of the aspect of ignorance, it is called jada. Now, chitta brings out two forces of prakriti. Vidya and avidya. Vidya is sattvic prakriti, sattva predominating. Avidya is rajas. Tamas is also blended with it. Two types of knowledge guide the soul. One is called avidya, another is called vidya. Avidya is leading you to the worldly experience. Vidya leading you to liberation. But both are coming in and through your chitta. With the aspect of knowledge, it is called chetan. With the predominance of ignorance, it is called jada. When you develop two types of vision, vidya drishti, avidya drishti. Through vidya drishti, you relate yourself to things that are chetan, they are conscious. All animals, birds, human beings, even little worms. Wherever you see chetan, you make a separation. This is conscious being and this stone is inert. The jada chetan difference. The inert is called jada. Conscious beings are chetan. These differences are also brought out by your chitta. Thus, O Rama, swinging like a pendulum between the luminous self and ignorance, this apparent chitta assumes various forms. So, having spoken of this through two aspects, vidya and avidya, chitta makes a difference due to ignorance between chetan and jada. Chetan is spirit, jada matter. Spirit and matter are always separate, brought about by chitta. And it is in and through the chitta that you come to deal with these terms: jiva, individual soul; buddhi, intellect; mind, manas, that handles practical realities of the world. Mind's role of mind is sankalpa, vikalpa. Sankalpa means you study what your project should be. Mind creates the project, and mind creates also a sensitivity, a kind of flexibility in your vision. You look this way, you look that way. There are two boats there. You have to cross the river. Which one you should choose? One aspect of choosing called sankalpa. Another aspect you don't choose, vikalpa. So all those functions come through your mind. And buddhi determines. While mind is fluctuating, buddhi taps the head of the mind. That this is the right one. Jiva, buddhi, mind, ahamkara, ego, all these are in and through the chitta. This is a kind of a elaborating upon the Raj Yoga Sutra, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. All this that you experience are on the basis of vrittis of the chitta. O Rama, it is the jiva, the mind sustaining the reflection of the self, which is the cause of the world process. For very easy understanding, always follow that example of pot with water, and the sun is reflecting in that water. Not only the sun, but the sky and the sun all enter your water. Now that reflected sun is the jiva. And water is basically the chitta. It is not the fault of the body. How can this inert body give rise to experiences of pleasure and pain? So when you are thinking about what causes pain and how can you end it, first state your mind goes after the body and develops a simple concept: if I didn't have rheumatism, I would have been so happy. I'm just giving you one joking way. But don't go on blaming the body. Body in itself, being inert, it can't give you pain. You have stools, chairs, and different things that are inert. They don't give you pain unless you misuse them. You sit on them and you fall down, that's a different matter. But they have not planned to give you pain. Just as when one leaf in a tree is destroyed, the sap of the tree is not destroyed, but flows on through the other leaves. In the same manner, even when body is destroyed, jiva flows on to other bodies. There is no cause for fear. scriptures give a very simple way of handling death of a near and dear one, or a death of anyone. Remember in the Ramayana, when Bali's wife Tara weeps before Bali's dead body, Rama says, "Oh Tara, why are you weeping? If you think Bali is his body, he is right there. But if you think Bali is his spirit, then why should you weep?" Because the spirit has not been destroyed. Even the possibility of destruction of the citta should not be viewed with a sense of pathos. This entire citta movement that creates both jada chetan, the idea things are inert, the idea of difference, that living beings are chetan, living beings are conscious, inert bodies versus living bodies. The type of difference that the mind, that we experience, is brought about by mind. His mind is unable to understand what the inert objects are, unable to understand how soul is different from the body. And soul and body all together essentially is Brahman. When the citta is destroyed by the force of self-realization, and then the goal of your life is to let vidya, knowledge, rule over avidya, ignorance. Rule over or just terminate ignorance. When vidya removes ignorance, avidya, when vidya removes avidya, citta is destroyed. Citta that has been creating all these illusions. The destruction of citta, that's your goal. But try to handle it in your normal psychology. Every life in every person identified with body, identified with your mind-body complex. All the world that you know and all the world that you are striving to experience, all that essentially is going to be destroyed. The very earth you are sitting upon so comfortably, that earth itself will be one day destroyed. And all the stars you are seeing, none of them are going to stay forever. Simply because it stretches in a long duration of time. That doesn't make you perfect, because you are staying full for a very long, long time. If a dream pleasant dream continues to stretch for a long time, that's not your real purpose, because ultimately it has to terminate. Whether you pleasant dream or painful dream, whether you experience a heaven or a hell, that experience is not permanent experience. So any concept that you will attain Swarga and stay happy with your puppy and with your cat and with all your relatives forever. That's just a fairy tale. It's not fair. So, when you hear the word chitta itself is going to be destroyed, your understanding, your pure intellect must be calm and relaxed and inspired to hear that news and follow that project. So, the statement chitta is to be destroyed, the entire world is kshara, perishable. All these statement is not meant to promote fear or terror in the mind of people. And the destruction of chitta itself, the statement is not of a pathetic nature. It is the highest glory. A cloud that has been refracting the light of the sun. Now the cloud begins to allow the sun to pass through, that one stage. The moment cloud starts to let the sun to pass through, cloud has allowed itself to be destroyed. It appears to be there, but at the same time that cloud is not building up. It is getting gradually thinning out. So two stages of destruction. One is called Sarupanash. It's being destroyed, but there is a form that continues to exist of the cloud. And the form looks better and better. It becomes more fleecy, more artistic, as the cloud begins to lose its opacity. But finally, nothing is there, just the sun. That's called Arupanash. First is the Sarupanash, you are destroying the chitta. Chitta seems to appear in form, but it's practically not going to cause bondage. Another stage, you don't talk about chitta. Chitta has become chit, pure awareness. Like a monkey that jumps from one tree to another, in association with the vasanas, the jiva continues to leave one body in order to enter another. As long as you are unenlightened, you are being led by law of karma. And being led by law of karma implies you go on moving from one embodiment to another. And it is called monkey business. Each embodiment is a branch of the monkey. You had all types of experiences. But then you jump out of that branch, going to another branch. The cosmic tree is one and the same. And you are just jumping from one branch to another, having the same experience. Just as a stepmother with an outward show of affection carries a child to different places according to her whims, in the same manner, the vasanas carry the jiva to different embodiments. Here is an allegorical statement. Prakriti is the mother, but there are two aspects of Prakriti. Shuddha Prakriti, Malin Prakriti. When you do sadhana, your Prakriti nature becomes purified. The purified nature expresses in the form of sanmati, good understanding. And with good understanding, guided by good understanding, the soul is like a baby being guided by a divine mother to the highest goal. But if you have not purified your chitta, now the Prakriti in you is impure. Manthara type. See, Kakei, not Kakei, Manthara type. I'm referring to the Ramayana story. Now the impure Prakriti acts like a very affectionate mother, little too more affectionate, and tempts the soul. It's just like a jealous co-wife or a stepmother. She's dealing with a baby that is not her baby. So in the heart, there is no real love. But all the idea behind the stepmother is how to torture the baby and thereby torture the co-wife. In other words, both movements, both types of motherly movement are possible to lead your soul. A stepmotherly movement done by Malin Prakriti is taking your soul away from your real purpose. Sattvic Prakriti is leading your soul to the real goal. Endless are the miseries that develop in old age. Even more so are the miseries that are caused by the vasanas. Think of misery and count the miseries that you have experienced in life. And all the time you are thinking of how your body has been young and then gradually you age. But all through, experiences go on giving you different types of impact on your mind. From childhood to death. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. Birth, death, old age, disease, they all relate to your body. And all the miseries that you have suffered on the basis of the body. But turn your attention that your vasana-based mind, vasana, that subtle desires that are not pure, if those subtle desires exist, you are not only going to, first point, you are going to have embodiment after embodiment. And another dimension of your misery will be not just the body. While the body has its own story to tell, your sentiments, your understanding, these 2 points are generally not recognized by the masses. All the misery is being interpreted on the basis of the body itself. But while you age, if you have developed internal love for God, if internally your mind is advancing, mind is not limited. Spiritual movement continues led by your sadhana, the power of mantra, power of faith. So in other words, there is a big difference between experiences that you have on the basis of your body, experiences that you have on the basis of your mind. So you have double trouble. Body's problems, mind's problems. Section 72 of Upasham Prakarana. And the topic is, grief is neither in the body nor in the self. That misery that you suffer, another term for that misery is grief. Just brief statement. And your project is to end the grief. Ashocyanana shochastam. Everything that you deal with and you are concerned about, they are illusory in nature. Grief is either in the body, physical body, the soul has left the body, and the body looks the same from toes to the head. No grief. And if you think of the soul, identified with subtle body, then that soul is experiencing pain, because the mind is the basis of experience. But here there is a quick definition of the two, body and the self. Real self has no suffering. Think of a reflected sun in a jar. Reflected sun relates itself to two things, the jar and the sun. The sun aspect of the reflected self has no problems at all. The jar aspect of the reflected self has no problem at all. So where is the problem? problem is through your mind. The body is ever perishable. But one who believes that with the destruction of the body, his spirit will cease to exist, is indeed endowed with dullness of intellect. Now, showing the different types of people, Jaramati, one who is extremely dull-witted, comes to very quick conclusion that there is no God. God never existed. The human mind has created God to console its own sufferings. It's called nihilism. God doesn't exist. The world has no purpose. Things happen haphazardly and can't do anything about it. Accepting things in this line, in this way of thinking, that's absolute dull-wit intellect. Because you may negate everything in this world, God and everything. You may disbelieve in everything. But you cannot negate the negator. You can doubt everyone, but can you doubt yourself? You have to recognize your existence. Then only your doubting can have some meaning. In brief, what we are saying, that even though nihilists shout out, there is no God, no religion, we don't believe in all this nonsense. But while shouting out, the person believes in himself, his popularity. His voice should be heard by people. Why should they have to hear his voice? He recognizes all this, but he doesn't understand it. It's just like a person shouts out, says, my tongue has been cut out. If tongue is not there, how could you be shouting? The horses that drive a chariot are not related to the chariot. The path pilgrims adopt is not related to them. The swamp and the mud of a lake are not related to the lake. So too, the body is not related to the self. This pointing out called asanga. How to develop a vision that you are different from your body, different from your senses, different from everything that you do. And that's allegorically said. If you are you are in a chariot, old style simile, horses are not integral part of the chariot. Horses are separate, they can go away and chariot can be there. Paths that you adopt, they are not part of the chariot. Your chariot is separate from horses, from the paths you adopt, also the conditions that you face, swampy areas, muddy areas. All this relate to your body. Body is your chariot, body, mind, set. But none of them is related to the self. To understand this in a very simple way, reflected sun in a jar of water. You look into it, so many things are happening. But none of this has any relation with the sun. Sun, the reality of the reflected sun is the sun. Your reality is not your ego. Your reality is the absolute self. And that absolute self has absolutely no association with your body, mind, intellect, ego, chitta, and all the world that you conceive of. Just as out of one piece of wood, numerous forms of dolls are created. In the same way, out of 5 elements, numerous bodies have evolved. Kept describing by variations of bodies. All the bodies are matter. Other illustrations are given like clay. All pots. Pots have many shapes, many forms, many names, many values, many associations. But the basic reality behind all pots is clay. In the same way, when you look at different pictures carved on a wood, pictures from picture point of view, your mind goes into so many different experiences. But behind all those pictures, wood is the substance. This study is for all worldly experience and worldly values. They are like carvings of pictures. And the reality behind all that is the divine self. Since this body consists nothing but the 5 elements, how can there be an occasion for elation or grief? A mature, highly mature mind has to understand that body is not me. If you are the body, then you have to handle different surprising things and terrorizing things that happen through your body. The loss of your vision, breaking of your teeth, loss of your hearing, and many other things. If you understand this properly, then changes occurring in your body and also through your mental process, in your sentiments, in your ideas and understandings, all changes, you begin to view them in the realm of Maya, in the realm of a dream. When two stone images embrace each other, there is no sentimental involvement. Sometimes a very loving mother taking the baby in the arms, and both of them go to deep sleep. At that time, there is no relationship, even though bodies are related. All that just to give you insight how most endearing experiences have behind them a magical action of your mind. And that is not the truth. Having assumed the form of waves, the ocean goes about gathering straw, weeds, and wood. In the same manner, having assumed the form of the chitta, the self goes about gathering body, mind, senses, and other forms of the not self. Ocean in itself gives you the idea of perfection, full. But come to the waves of the ocean. The waves are creating lots of things, so many variations. Ocean is the chitta. Chitta without waves, ignoring the waves. But understand that chitta sustains all the waves. This is a kind of explanation of the Raj Yoga statement. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga is the cessation of the vrittis of the chitta. Ocean, if you understand, all these vrittis are just waves that do not in any way affect the ocean. And when the same ocean becomes calm, it gives up gathering of straw, weeds, and wood. On the part of waves, you see gathering of lots of rubbish. On the part of the ocean, nothing. Calm. It gathers the light of the sun. All red, beautiful. Similarly, when enlightened by wisdom, the self gives up its identification with the body. All this is meant to lead your understanding towards the great truth, I am not the body. And what more? I am not the mind. Neither body nor the mind. That includes automatically all the details. Nothing exists, nothing belongs to me. I am neither body nor the mind. Immortal self am I. Many Vedantic sutras are there that highlight this point. Mano buddhi. Ahankara chittani naham. I am neither the mind, nor the body, nor the intellect, nor the ego. I am Satchidananda, Shivoham, Shivoham. When intoxication has worn off, a drunkard recovers the memory of his identity. The ignorance plays the part of intoxicating liquor, madira. So too, when the veil of ignorance is removed by the knowledge, so what knowledge does? It removes that intoxication that was created by ignorance. And what removes it? Knowledge of the self, Atma-Gyan. Once that has been done, you come to your real identity. From a wrong identity, under intoxication, you come recover and recall, who am I? The spiritual movement is a divine recall. Your real nature is perfectly safe, untouched, absolute. O Rama, just as the ocean is not attached to the vast store of pearls and precious materials that lie in the depths, in the same way a sage is not attached to the objects of the world in spite of his apparent contact with the world. The term asanga, detachment, is being further explained, that you may feel the need of being detached from things that give you trouble. In a spiritual movement, you begin to discover that there are wonderful jewels and pearls in this world. All good virtues, divine virtues are jewels, pearls. But even all those virtues do not hold you down in the world. They are meant to lead you to be absolutely detached. We don't praise Brahman because he never tells lies. All the virtuous qualities belong to you. They relate to human being moving towards liberation. But when we are liberated, virtues have been all silenced. A liberated sage can be considered an ocean having countless pearls. And the ocean has nothing really to do with the pearls. And with this I will conclude. Yoga Vasistha is filled with all these allegorical literary writings. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukma Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyama Mritat Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashchidduka Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityor Ma Mritam Gamaya Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Hari Om Tat Sat. Yes.
Anyone has any questions? Can speak loud.
Any question or many questions? Doesn't matter. Okay. Yes.
No questions.
Hmm?
The classes continue, Swamiji. On Friday we will have Tulsi Ramayana. Saturday pranayama and meditation. And Sunday we'll no pranayama.
No
Okay, just meditation 7:30. And Sunday 5:30 we'll have Bhagavad Gita. That's it.